G'day guys and gal. Warhammer 40k isn't just a dangerous epic setting because of space marines or orcs or the literal forces of hell. It's also because even the fauna itself is obscene, with many planets having animals that apparently naturally evolved that are powerful enough to rip a space marine to shreds like they're a guy without arms that comes last at the shot put Special Olympics. Some of these animals are even powerful enough to take on knights and even titans, which is pretty dope and definitely worth talking about. And no, they aren't all from Catachan. Also, yes, new studio. I've now moved place and have more room and depth to play with, on top of me also being about to invest in a bunch of fancy new gear, so expect better lighting, cinematography, and audio in the coming weeks to help mask how shit my content actually is. One downside is that all the sponsored segments I recorded in my old studio for this month are now going to look super jank. For example, before we get started, you are probably scratching your head wondering what to get your friends and family for Christmas. I know this because I am too. And whilst it might seem like an insult to buy them an awesome skincare package and hygiene products from Geology, it's actually a fantastic gift, and here's why. Everyone should be doing skincare. It'll keep you looking younger for longer, on top of either reducing or eliminating bad stuff like acne, oily skin, dry skin, blotchy skin, and so on. The best part is that Geology knows that many of us blokes don't know how to do a proper skincare routine, so they take out the hard part by getting you to fill out a quick survey, then bam, a full skincare routine with easy to follow instructions arrives at your door. Geology isn't just skincare though, they also have a range of really nice natural smelling deodorants, shampoos, and body washes, all created either using natural ingredients or science-based chemicals that have shown to have meaningful beneficial impact. When I showed my girlfriend the ingredients list of Geology products, she was actually very impressed and even got me to request more products from Geology for just her. Personally, I noticed the difference. My skin is more even, healthy, less oily, it's just so much better. Now for some Christmas value. Using my link or code Majorkill70, you'll get a massive 70% off your first skincare package, as well as another 50% off a product of your choice. Cheers to Geology for sponsoring this video. Today we'll go over the 10 deadliest animals in the 40k universe. We'll only talk about animals that are not sentient and were not obviously bioengineered to become beasts of war. Although with the monsters on this list, there isn't much you could do to engineer them that would make them more dangerous. Let's get into it. Our number 10 on this list will make you laugh whilst also framing how absolutely ridiculous the power level of this list will get to, as our number 10 spot is a croalid, a warp-capable large crocodile that can ruin your day at any point because it can literally teleport through hell on a whim. Now while they aren't super dangerous, probably a bit more aggressive and deadly than the largest saltwater crocodile on Earth, which to be fair makes them pretty fucking deadly, but it's how much of a meme they are that gets them on this list. Like how the fuck do these guys even evolve? Their teeth never stop growing, which means that instead of dying from old age, old croalids will die from their teeth growing through their head and puncturing their brain, killing them. Bruh. When they get cut open for an autopsy, there is zero organs or biological matter which would allow them to perform warp jumps or create a Geller field, yet they can still get through the warp without issue. These beasts are often hunted by big game sport by nobles, with the Space Marine having little to no issue against these guys as long as they don't get piled on. Number 9 moves away from the memes and more towards the death, that being a Malagra from the planet of Molech. A Malagra is so ridiculously deadly that I call bullshit on natural evolution. It's all claw, teeth, hide, scale, with multiple sets of eyes. The closest thing I could compare it to would be a chimera from Greek myth. These guys skip the whole can kill a space marine thing and are actually capable of taking out knights. That's right, these bad boys can kill the mecha warriors of the Imperium. Molech is known for its various knightly houses, with the slaying of a Malagra being considered to be a great feat of skill and courage, because the fight is genuinely even. More than likely, the Malagras were cum blasted with warp energy during the Age of Strife, which is why they are so deadly and look so fucked up and unnatural. Sure, Molech has a number of spicy predators, but nothing that would justify the Malagra needing to get as powerful as it did. Number 8 takes us to Caliban, giving us the great beasts of the forest. Caliban was heavily blasted with chaos energy for quite a long time, resulting in the already deadly fauna undergoing large mutations to become the Great Beasts, a term for a huge variety of large apex predators that have been warring against the knightly orders of Caliban for thousands of years. To take out a great beast, an entire force of trained, power-armored knights with heavy weapons would be needed. Chief amongst the great beasts was the Calibanite lion, a beast that was famously killed by Lionel Johnson, with Zariel also slaying one due to his use of the warp. While many Primarchs conquered their worlds via killing an entire enemy culture, the lion's war to claim Caliban was against the great beasts, taking years and thousands of knights to slowly but surely drive the beasts to extinction. However, the great beasts of Caliban look like a walk in the park compared to number 7 on this list, the Catachan Devils. These gigantic spider scorpions are absolute nightmare fuel, with them reaching up to 30 meters in length. That is fucked. For context, that is 2 commercial buses in length. Did I mention that they could also burrow underground and attack you from below? Well, they can do that. They can kill you with their maws, claws, and stinger, or just by giving you a heart attack from seeing a 30-meter long death monster charging at you. The Devils have been known to actively target guardsman tank companies, often wiping them out. They are so deadly that the Imperium has put a lot of resources in attempting to tame or train them, which always ends badly. However, some Imperial worlds that get invaded often or feel as if they will get invaded will deliberately release the Catachan Devils into the wild. So when invading forces land their ships on the outskirts of cities to begin to siege, they will disturb the Devils' nests and then get turbo-fucked to death. Number 6 on this list is probably the most unassuming but arguably the most deadly, the Catachan Barking Toad. This creature doesn't have claws or fangs or ambushes and hunts people, but it's the only thing on this list so far that could easily kill a Primarch, an entire Space Marine chapter, and a Titan. That is because if you startle or scare it, it will explode, releasing the equivalent of the Life Eater virus within a 1 kilometer radius. I don't see how that is remotely good for the Barking Toad, as it also dies in the process, so how the fuck does it evolve to do that, but I'll suspend my disbelief because of how funny it is. Just remember, whenever you see a Barking Toad, do not boop the snoot. For number 5, the planet of Nocturne is not a very nice place to live. It's full of volcanoes and fire. However, that is nothing compared to the danger of the great salamanders that live beneath the earth. Nocturne has a shitload of various different types of salamanders, including the green ones in power armor that love hugs. However, the great ones that live underground are on another level of power. They rarely emerge from their slumber. However, when they do, shit gets fucked. Dozens of meters long and with nearly impenetrable hides, these monsters are strong enough to take out entire Space Marine armies. When the Death Guard invaded Nocturne during the Horus Heresy, with hundreds of Astartes and tanks, they marched over the top of a great salamander den. The beasts awoke in a rage and emerged onto the surface, attacking the Death Guard. It was a massacre as the salamanders tore through tank columns and power armor with ease. Then the loyalist green salamanders also attacked, hammer and anviling the Death Guard between 2 types of salamanders. When I read about how matched the Death Guard were by this fauna, I was shocked, and it actually inspired this video. Number 4 is pretty similar to number 5, the mega dinosaurs of Pythos. Pythos was an unnatural world full of extremely over-the-top apex predators. Even their smaller beasts were capable of killing Space Marines. However, when their mega dinosaurs appeared, shit was fucked. Each dinosaur was the size of a skyscraper and could one-shot dreadnoughts. It took concentrated heavy weapons fire to their head from dozens of Space Marines to take them out, in which case their massive bodies collapsing would reap its own level of death. In the final battle of Pythos, when the Iron Hands took on Mardale the Demon, it was actually the mega dinosaurs that fucked up the Space Marines, not the Demon or his army of cultists. There are times where I don't think GW realized just how large they are making some of their animals and how insane that mental image looks, but hey, I'm all here for it. Now getting into the raid boss territory, we have the Fenrisian Krakens at number 3. Fenris is arguably the shittiest place in the galaxy to live. The temperature is cold as ass and the wildlife is not cuddly at all. The apex of Fenris is the Kraken. These Goliaths can grow up to 5 miles long, with tentacles up to 20 miles, meaning if the Kraken was to stick its tentacles straight up into the sky, it would pass beyond the lower atmosphere. Fuck me, dude. The Kraken's teeth are so sharp and strong that if slain, the teeth are used to create frost blades, legendary swords that even Leman Russ himself uses. There is a legend that the father of the Krakens is so big that its tentacles surround the planet under the ice, which is giving me some serious thalassophobia, which I'm not here for, so let's move on. Some animals actually live and thrive in the void of space, including the gargantuan void whale at our number 2 spot. These beasts are the length of a fucking planet, around 12,000 miles, and they have their own ecosystems and even atmospheres due to their insane size. They swim through the void and can also enter the warp at will for travel around the galaxy. While they don't seem particularly aggressive or target planets or people, a chaos-corrupted void whale once emerged from the warp and had to be taken out by the Space Wolves, who boarded it, entered its body, and planted thermal charges within the beast's massive vital organs. As the beast was blown apart, its corpse was so massive that it created its own celestial entity that now orbits in the void. Now for the deadliest animal in the entirety of Warhammer 40k, a beast so fucked up it literally targets full-size warships as its prey. We have the Void Kraken. Although not as large as a void whale, the Kraken's aggressive predatory nature makes it a lot deadlier. They look like massive jagged asteroids due to their camouflaging ability, meaning ships will get close to them only to get constricted and torn to shreds by the Void Kraken's Goliath tentacles. It is also a very smart creature, sometimes allowing smaller ships to survive getting bitten, but keeping them stranded, so that distress signal will bring more prey. They are also basically impossible to kill, their skin being unbreakable and them having no weaknesses as they have no blood or organs. aliens. Their reproduction is also terrifying, as they rip off a piece of themselves and then throw it at a planet. That piece then burrows underground and feeds on the world's minerals before eventually launching itself back into space to begin tormenting the shit out of everyone. The only saving grace is that the Void Krakens are extremely rare and only occupy a small part of the galaxy due to them not having the capability to warp travel. Let's just fucking pray that the Tyranids never get their hands on one. That could be very, very bad. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then subscribe. We are edging ever closer to 600k, which will be great for my fragile ego that is in need of constant validation. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.